Hello team Dyslexics, ADHD, Awareness Month. I'm in the storage garage of love. Look, here we are, everyone's got a storage garage. I've just come away from the rest of the family, just to have some quiet time to make this real. You know, my story is a long story in my 62nd year on the planet. But you know, when I was in school, I really discovered that I had dyslexia when I was probably 12, and it was a bit late then. I was very good at disguising the fact, and I used to stop a mate of mine, Ian Liddell, being bullied, and then get him to do my homework, and that worked then, and I became the clown in the class. To distract the rest of my peers from giving me a hard time of how I couldn't read and write back then. And I don't read or write at all now. I kind of just turned the button off. It was too hard and too distracting from where I wanted to be and how I wanted to get on. So I created my own environment to work in, and my tricks and flicks to get others to help me and learn. I did most of my actual real learning when I left school at 14. I didn't take any exams. The school were quite good in that respect, that they probably wanted to see the back of me. I was quite a disruptive child at school. And I left, started cutting grass. That earned me quite a good living. Pushing a lawnmower around the streets. I didn't have a driving licence. My dad used to drop me off to jobs. Built up a network. I lived in a pub that made life a bit easier for me, so I could find customers. And that dried up at the end of the summer. And I started cutting up logs and learning how to use a chainsaw, and went into tree surgery. And I remember the day I used to do an advert in the Yellow Advertiser, local rag paper. And we put it in there and get customers come towards us, and I was really brave and put in there, tree surgeon now available. And I was far from a tree surgeon. I knew some friends that were, and I took a course, and I listened intently to the language and how to start selling tree surgery, and I built up the Ruskin Group, and then sold that in my late 20s for a considerable amount of money. When I was 18, I had a PA, best thing I ever did. She was a high flyer from London that then wanted to be at home and take her child to school. And I was lucky enough to find her. I'm very grateful to find her. She made me look fabulous on paper. Paragraphing, doing all my invoicing for me, making me look like I was the bee's knees. And she really did help me. She used to read everything for me. And I started learning how to do a shortcut with that as well, where I'd give her, say, a lease, that we were going to lease some property or do something. And I'd say, just give me, I want one page, one A4. You do all the reading, and you just give me that one A4 of all of the prominent points. How much, how long, etc. It's about environment. You've got to create an environment. And I was nearly on that knife point, you know, before I got into really getting my business organised, where, you know, I got done for stealing cars, because the group that was stealing cars, they put their arm around me and they said, you're a good guy and you can do stuff. And it's how you get appreciated. And lucky I didn't go down that path. And I know lots of people have gone down that path. There was a study in Chelmsford Prison. You know, about 38% of the men under 30 were dyslexic. You know, and it's really, really worrying that they've fallen into a clique of people that give them some camaraderie and appreciation, and then the slippery slope happens because they're not getting it elsewhere. and they're probably not getting it from their parents, perhaps, or they're not getting it from their peers at school, perhaps, and they don't love themselves. You know, my big takeaway for this month is, if you are struggling and you do have difficulties and you haven't got great environments around you, you know, you need to learn to love yourself. You're okay, you know. And a dyslexic brain is very different to the rest of the community around you. You know, we're thinking at hyper speed, 24/7. It wears you out. You know, it's exhausting being us. But find your pace and find your environment and your friends. And you have to change, you know, you have to become, a lot of times, a quite flamboyant person to be able to ask for help. And please ask people for help. You know, when I was young, the stigma of it was you know, illiteracy. You can't read or write. You know, it was terrible. Now it is better. It's not great, by the way, everyone. It's not great. And it could do with being a lot better. But it is better. You need to take care of yourself, and you need to work out and find your clan of people. And if you're in business, you know, I went on to you know, buying land and selling land with planning permission for housing, had partners in that business, and then I stood on my own 2 feet and bought more land and made more developments, and then ended up buying, you know, we have a big luxury wedding venue and hotel, Baddow Park House, on our Baddow Park estate in Chelmsford. And I have fabulous people look after my businesses for me. You know, in the last 20 years, I've never locked a business up. I don't have keys to any of my businesses or property. You know, we have over £30 million worth of property. I don't run my businesses. I talk to my staff that run them for me, and I help them, and I manage and direct as a managing director and owner. But, you know, create your environment for yourself, your niche, if you like. And you can do anything. You can absolutely do anything. You just got to have vision, have staying power. That is tough. Like, it's really tough. And dark days will come for you. And you need to pick yourself up, see into the future of brightness and go for it. And don't let it grind you down. You know, don't let it get to you. The future is bright, and it is encouraging what I see going on. So this month, talk to as many people as you can about awareness in the neurodiverse community. My boardroom has people in it that are ADHD, dyslexic, dyspraxic, because I need their weird way of thinking into the future for my businesses. You know, they are clever, bright individuals, and I'm not getting that from a normal column thinker. I need someone that's thinking laterally, sideways, roundabout. You know, you've got to have that type of thinking. AI is going to come and take all the mediocre jobs anyway, so all that's left is creativity and brilliant thinking. And the real truth of ideas and thoughts, well, they're great. If you like, they're kind of the easy bit. The hard bit is the creativity, and that's taking the thought and putting it into action. Creativing from the idea. And that takes a wild brain of fantastic brilliance, and you'll find that in our community. So I could prattle on, and lots of people say that I do. But listen, lots of love to all of you, and I hopefully will have the opportunity to speak to you again. Take care. Find me on Instagram, and I look forward to perhaps meeting you one day and you telling me your story. See you again.